Hey everyone, Spike here. Well, I said I was going to get around to this, and I finally am. We're going to be watching Furries, a documentary by Eric Risher. Now, like I said, I bought this back at Midwest Fur Fest, and I am going to watch it right now, and I will be doing a review for you. I'll commentate as I play through this. I'll cut everything that is not relevant or just empty space. So, I got up here on the TV, so let's get started. Now, much of this documentary is set at Anthrocon. I don't know what year this is. But... Now, of course, this had to be Anthrocon either 16 or before, because I could see that Tonic was still around then. Okay, so I've gotten 3 different things. We have one person think it's what did they say animal rights or animal welfare? I can't remember which one it was. The other one more akin to Trekkies, fair enough, and of course they had the sexual aspect. Of course that had to pop out. Now we were just introduced to the two psychologists, and those were Dr. Kathy Garbaski and Courtney Plant, and of course, they brought up the statistic on how many in the furry community actually own a fursuit. And back then, it was like around 10-15%. Now it's going up to like 1 in 4. Yeah, that's an interesting way to make art. We were just introduced to Skookum, who is a Japanese fox. And I've never seen this technique used before. Lining up a bunch of crayons and using a hairdryer to melt the wax. And that's a technique I haven't seen before, but then again, I'm not an artist myself. Alright, so Skookum was talking about how she was kind of the outcast of the group when she was about 12 years old. She kept drawing anthropomorphic art, and she was thinking about giving up and just drawing people. But then she found the furry fandom and she felt good. It never mentioned that if she knew that people drew animals all the time. It's more that she was pretty much discouraged just because of the peers around her. But yeah, drawing anthropomorphics has been around for thousands of years. Oh yeah, Fur Affinity, and it's not down! First time she's on camera, and I don't know if that's a fair... She said just beat on her. So we have Misty, the one who likes squirrels, and she defined Fursona as a character that someone identifies with. I don't know if I would go with that definition, because I did create Spike and Loki with 2 different personalities. Spike more like me, Loki being the more mischievous one. If they are making their personas more to reflect themselves, I think that would be one way of making a persona. But I think it's more of what people would rather prefer with their character. It may not necessarily go down that route. So we had a couple of the people being interviewed, seeing their personas as themselves, and that's what a lot of furries pretty much build their character around, more of a projection of themselves, or what they want to be, what they can't be in their normal lives. Like I said, some people might not necessarily go down that route. But I like I said, with Spike, it's more with myself. He was the very first character that I had created in my head. Loki came later, even though he was my first fursuit. Alright, so one of them is going to his very first fur meet, and they had their fur meet at a zoo. I remember when I had my first fur meet, and it was actually just over 10 years ago. It has just been my 10th anniversary as a furry. And it was at several places. We first met at a Barnes and Noble, and after that we decided to bring some fursuiters over to a PetSmart and just be a little silly, do a little shopping for someone's pet. And then when we later did fursuit bowling, but they did note some of the things can be good, some things can be bad, can be awkward, and for the most part, fur meets are actually on the very good side, and my group in North Carolina, we haven't done this in quite a while, but we did go to a zoo back then. But we usually wore either ears or tail, and whenever people pass this by, they actually do show a lot of interest and very curious about it. And other than that, it's just a typical outing. Oh, Morphicon. Hadn't heard about this con in quite a while. Okay, I was looking at their badges, and it said it was Morphicon 9. It's now known as Anthro-Ohio, and I'm assuming that it's the 9th Morphicon. And I looked it up. If that is what I think it is, then this would mean that this convention was held in 2011. So it's been a while since this was recorded, if I'm correct. But everyone's at this panel, and I noticed that there are 2 of them that are actually parents who are actually dragged to the convention by their kids. And even though I don't see as many kids as one would think, because I only see like 3, maybe 4 at one convention, and at a big one maybe. There's even a few cons that have a panel about kids having their parents bring them to their convention. Here we go. All the sexual content made by these entertainment articles. It's this article, the Vanity Fair article. I hate them. Oh no, not this. Not the CSI episode. Oh no. American Dad! I actually like that one. Entourage? Oh yeah, I forgot ER did one. Yeah. Oh no. Tyra Banks. Fuck you. So they touch upon, obviously, the sexual aspect of the furry fandom. And pretty much the attitude is that we know it exists. And it's going to exist. It'll exist with almost anything. Of course, the internet knows Rule 34. You can pretty much make porn out of anything. But for a while, the furries have been trying to hide the fact that it exists, or at least try to keep it out of the spotlight. But eventually, people are going to know that it does exist. We just have to acknowledge it and just accept it as just one corner of the fandom, even though that there's many other parts for people to explore. We go from sex to religion. So one of them is in the Roman Catholic religion and is also openly gay. That's not a religion that I practice, but I can't imagine how difficult it would be to be gay and practice a religion where people tell you that what you're doing is wrong. I can't imagine how difficult that would be. I see Mystery Otter! And one of the mothers just talked about her son seeing these characters and hasn't asked any questions about it, and she's letting him do his thing until he starts asking questions when he gets older. I mean, she doesn't mind it with him, but is more concerned about her neighbors finding out that she's furry. And that pretty much tells me that furries are still self-conscious about others finding out what they like. Because there is still that negative connotation associated with the term. Alright, so now they're showing Anthrocon. I did see a few of my friends that were in the lobby there. They cut to KP, which at the time was the programming director. I think he changed rules since then. And they just had a shot of the dealer's den, which they still had the art show and artist alley in the same area in Hall B, which since then those areas have been moved to Hall C, and the entirety of Hall B belonged to the dealer's den. So this Anthrocon was from a few years ago. So if you look at the videos with Anthrocon and downtown Pittsburgh, everyone is open to us coming here, and of course we pump millions into the local economy. People just love us there, and I can't tell you how such a good feeling that is. I'm trying to see what year this Anthrocon was. I was trying to look closely at what year this convention was, and judging by the badge, it looks like it came from 2012, which would be just over 5 years ago, and I was still working for Disney at that time. Foxglove! I missed that fursuit! Alright, the credits are rolling, and I'm seeing a couple of furries play Pump It Up, which is a competitor to Dance Dance Revolution. I can't imagine how difficult it must be to dance fursuit like that if you're playing on a difficult level. So that was Furries, a documentary by Eric Risher, and I have to say that this is a very good documentary. It actually gives a more personal level with the furries and trying to get a better understanding. And I was wondering why there was some old footage from Morphocon and Anthrocon from 5 years ago. And I actually found out from their Kickstarter page that this was actually a documentary 4 years in the making. And they had, like I said, they had to do a Kickstarter to actually get this finalized. They've had 101 backers pledge $5,363 to support this project, and I'd say that this actually did work out very well. Now there is some bonus features in there, but I'm just focused on the main documentary. But for me, this is one I would definitely recommend for you guys. So go check it out, and you won't be disappointed. Well, guys, that will do it for me, and hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you guys around.